Listeners, it's an interesting day. This is, for us, the day after the election.
Sure is.
And we're committed to this podcast because we would prefer to sit in bed with the covers over our heads and be sad. But we're here for you, okay?
Yeah, this is a source of joy doing this, so.
Okay,
I'm glad we get to
love
do this.
it. And this movie is great. So, like, this is gonna, like, make you have fun.
Okay, I will be bringing up Universal Studios. We all knew that was coming.
Okay.
I will be bringing up costume choices and decisions and live action sets and Peter Pan lore.
Oh,
I don't know that much lore, but you know, maybe it'll come out from my brain. We'll see.
I know this cold opening is all about, like, not talking about the movie.
Oh, yeah.
We should talk about other things. But it's hard not to talk about the movie because it brought back a lot of memories. But then also seeing it as an adult is weird.
It's weird.
You know? Because you're like, the themes are hitting you different. And you're like, oh no, am I old? Oh no, do I not remember?
Are you Peter Pan who left Neverland?
All right, well,
okay.
Second star to the left, and straight on till morning. See you there.
Sisters who've seen it. We are the sisters who've seen it. Sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, sisters who've seen it.
Hello.
Hello there.
Welcome back, listeners.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Which we know we just said, see you there, and now we're seeing you. And we realized we got to get that transition better, and so I'm so sorry about that because it feels like we'll see you later, but it's actually now, so we're gonna work on that. We have been doing this for 3 years, but we're gonna get better.
I mean, I think it's kind of fun. 4 years.
Okay.
Almost 4 years, Bridge.
What?
Actually, I think it has been 4 years.
We've been doing this for 4 years.
Didn't we start in 2020?
I don't even remember Tinkerbell.
Oh, God. Bridget, clap your hands. Wow. Yeah, it's been a while, listeners. We're here. We're still finding movies to watch. There's so many, including this one. So I'm going to introduce ourselves so you know who we are. So, listeners, we are the Sisters Who've Seen It, the podcast where two sisters who are not movie critics look back on some of our favorites throughout the years through a psychological, ethical, and familial lens. I'm Katie.
I'm Bridget.
And
hook.
Okay, the other quote I did want to say was when the little kid, like, grabs Robin Williams' face, he goes, "Oh, there you are, Peter." And I was like, what drugs did we take and where are mine? Bridge, what's the movie this week?
It is the 1991 Hook. Starring Robin Williams.
Oh my God.
Who was such a perfect Peter Pan cast.
Yeah, it was good casting for him.
I mean, Mrs. Doubtfire taught us that Robin Williams is a man kid who we like.
Yes.
Not the man kids who we don't like.
Right.
We have Dustin Hoffman as Captain Hook, who was unbelievable.
He's a trip.
Julia Roberts as Tinkerbell. And then we have a bunch of other random people that I should be calling out. Glenn Close with an insane
she's
cameo.
The random cameo. What about Bob Hoskins?
Bob Hoskins. We see Gwyneth Paltrow.
Oh, yeah. Maggie Smith.
Katie,
Maggie Smith.
Maggie Smith, the iconic R.I.P. Maggie Smith.
Fucking love her.
Katie, it
is mine.
Your turn. I've clocked it. Yes. I'm ready for it. This was a 2 hour and 16-minute movie. Katie's doing the synopsis. Buckle up, folks.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to fly to Neverland. I'll hold your hand, but we're going to be there. So, yes. Well, listeners, if you've never seen this movie, you might think that this is just a retell of Peter Pan. Okay? Y'all know Peter Pan? Little boy who never grows up. He lives in Neverland, and he's got a little fairy named Tinkerbell who flies around. there's a bunch of Lost Boys and Captain Hooks and all this bullshit. But guess what? That's not what the movie is. Okay? Because somehow, some way, Peter Pan grew up into be Robin Williams. And Robin Williams is a dad. He is a businessman. And he loves his business. And he might love his business too much. We are in the 90s, so we have classic 90s dad energy where none of the dads care about their families. And it's very, real sometimes for people.
The cell phone addiction started early.
Yeah, it definitely
91.
did for him. And so they go and visit. So in the movie, Robin Williams, his name is Peter, but his last name is Banning. Is that right? Oh yeah, Peter Banning. He's like, I was an orphan and I was raised by Maggie Smith, who is like a lady who lives in England, and they call her Granny Wendy. Weird, y'all. Okay? Keeping track? What's happening? And he was like, yeah, and then she got me adopted and I moved to America and that's my life and nothing's weird at all. Well, it is fucking weird. Okay? Because guess what? Well, parents abandon their children to go to a gala something. Captain Hook comes to their house in the middle of the night and kidnaps children and then is like, Peter, you little bitch, I just realized you exist, apparently, and that you have children. I knew exactly where to find you. Hey, what's up? Come on down and come get them, and then let's, like, fight. And you're like, what? It's been, like, 40 years, dude. Like...
You are right. Suspicious timing.
Yeah, I had questions about it. But then, Robin Williams Peter is like, this is crazy. And then Grandma Wendy is like, let me give you the real talk. It's all true. The lore is true. This is every nerd's dream to hear the lore is true. It's not stories.
And you're the star.
You're the star. That's right. And she's like, you gotta go back to Neverland. And he's like, I don't know what you're saying, so I'm gonna get drunk. And then Tinkerbell rolls up, who is Julia Roberts, which was a choice. And she's like, hey, I'm also deciding to appear right now, right here. And I know where everyone is. What's up? Been like so many years, but here I am right now. And I'm going to kidnap you and take you to Neverland. Here we go. And you're like, whoa. So basically the plot is he doesn't remember anything. He gets thrust into Neverland. Captain Hook's like, I don't think you're actually Peter. And he's like, I want my kids. And then he's like, I'm not giving you your kids unless you are Peter Pan. And he's like, I don't want to be Peter Pan. I don't know what that is. And then Tinkerbell's like, shut the fuck up and let's go to the Lost Boys and be Peter Pan already.
3 days.
And I'm
Give
like,
me 3 days.
Thank God, because I can't with this. So it does turn into a little bit of a like a training, if you will, of him becoming Peter Pan again and trying to remember. And, there's some ethics. Okay. Yeah, a lot of things happening. All right. We have orphan children. Are they eating? We don't know. Can they read a book? Probably not.
Never.
Never. But they
Neverland.
Can use swords.
Nothing never happens.
It's just, there's a lot of questions. And, there's so many things that fucking happen. It's really crazy. And then Captain Hook, wants to adopt the children, something, and that's weird, too. And I had questions. There's literally a whole mountain of children he could have done this with, but he's like, no, I want these kids to like me. And it's weird. And
it was weird looking back on that.
There's a lot of weird choices in this movie. And then, in the end, Robin Williams, Peter Pan, rescues his children. There are deaths. Kind of a lot, if I'm being honest. But anyway, he rescues them, and then Captain Hook dies, and then everything's great, and they go home. That's it. The end.
You did that so much faster than I thought.
I know. I think I did take a lot of notes, but I'm like...
Peter Pan, though, is a classic story, isn't it? People know what's what. Let's break down these characters, okay? Looking back, I didn't love Captain Hook as much as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
I loved him as an adult.
He's a ham. Love to see him.
What a little instigator. I mean, you start World War III, and then when, he's not up to your, caliber, he's like, nah.
Oh, my God.
Let's, end the war.
Well, I
thought, this is so funny.
Captain Hook would have been a theater kid in high school because he loves the drama.
And that wig, that's a choice.
Yo.
Those eyebrows? I kept being like, I cannot believe this is Dustin Hoffman.
Where'd you get those
I kept
eyebrows?
trying to like zoom in, but it's like he does it. It was a total transformation.
Yeah.
That's a great Halloween costume.
That I did see a kid dressed as that Captain Hook. It had like a wig and everything. Yeah. I was like, oh hell yeah, let's go.
Okay, so that blew my mind. And then it also blew my mind that Maggie Smith was like 50-something at the time this was made, and they made her look like an old lady, which is confusing for us because, like, you know, in her later years, she was an old lady. And so I was like, that's weird, you know, like being in the future.
They call her Granny Wendy, but then in the movie, they keep calling her the great grandma. And I was like, I don't know ages or math, and we're all confused by everything.
And I was like, wait, did Peter Pan like her?
I think
because,
he did. And he definitely copped a feel at one point.
That was then his mom. That was actually his grandma.
That's
and then
right.
he went after the granddaughter. So, like, was it just like a bunch of incest?
Yeah. Maybe.
Oh.
I think so. I think so.
Also, Steven Spielberg.
Oh, yes.
Kind of lots of fun facts about Steven Spielberg in this movie and how it wasn't like he didn't like the way it turned out and he'd been working on it forever and it, like, you know, all the ins and outs of it not doing its thing. But to be honest, I thought it was pretty freaking good.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, it's alright.
It's still Peter Pan. It's not like a whole new script.
No, I mean, some story stuff, I was like, why did that happen? But it's definitely, like, got Steven Spielberg feel because you have kid actors. Every Steven Spielberg movie has kid actors. The kid actors were fine in this movie.
I liked Jack. I thought he had, like, a lot of emotion.
He had range. Yes, he was good casting.
Wait a second. Are you actually saying a kid actor did a good job?
You know, I might be.
Wow. Run home, Jack.
Run home, Jack! Before I change my mind. But this movie also has a very stock Steven Spielberg trope, which is an absentee father. Did you ever watch the movie he made, The Fabelmans? That was like about his like life.
No, but they wrote about that it was like very similar themes.
Yeah.
Like, apparently his dad was the worst.
Yeah, but
did you watch it?
Yeah,
did you watch The Fabelmans?
I did watch The Fabelmans, and it like
is it worth a watch?
I think I liked it. I thought it was good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just very interesting. But Steven Spielberg didn't do any writing of this. He was just the director. And I said this last episode, but I really thought this movie, in my memory, was like from the 80s. Yeah. It just feels like one of those dark
80s.
Kid movies from the 80s, but it's the 90s, so I don't know.
But it's 91's on the cusp, okay?
Yeah.
But what I liked, and I will probably assume this was Steven Spielberg's choice, not a lot of CGI, Kate.
Oh, yeah.
Tons of
practical.
Like, when you talk about Captain Hook being a theater kid, and he made this set. Because this was the coolest set.
This is where the Universal Studios comes in. I want to wander around Pirate Town. I want to go into Captain Hook's ship. I want to see the crocodile clock. I want to climb a tree with the Lost Boys. Like, why can't I do that? I don't understand. Missed opportunity.
I mean, you could even, there's a skate park. Like,
well, imagine, I just don't think I'd be great at that.
Okay. I went too far. Okay, so wait, as we're bouncing around, Robin Williams was the best cast choice for this because he has this ability to like flip-flop into different personalities.
Yeah.
You know how he always kind of does his voices and he kind of, you know, is very playful that way? This movie needed it because like everyone had amnesia on their old lives. And it would have been annoying for someone who wasn't good at that to go back and forth because I kept being like, wait, do we not remember? Do we remember now? What makes us remember? Are we back to not remember? Oh, now the kid doesn't remember. Who's not remembering? Is it like Amnesia Island?
I did need a little chart of like, okay, who's got memory now and not. That would have been actually very fucking helpful because, yeah, it is Amnesia Island a little bit now that you say that.
And then the only one that remembered everything is Tinkerbell.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, I'm not going to suggest this movie, but I know eventually we'll have to do it. I've been thinking about My Best Friend's Wedding with Julia Roberts.
Okay.
And I was like, it's like she's kind of this character too. She's like
she's a fairy.
the best friend who's like in love with Peter. And like she's always like kind of by his side and always like, I'm here for you, Peter. And you got to remember and don't give up on Peter. My Peter, my Peter, my Peter. Now my only wish is to be the size of you, Peter. I love you, Peter.
Yeah.
Like, Julia, you need to take a chill pill. And apparently she was like a diva on the set.
Oh.
Which I don't think she has that reputation. So I found that to be strange.
Maybe she was just like, Dustin Hoffman's getting all the attention and I want the attention.
Well, maybe if she's just this little tank, you know?
Yeah. Oh, she was fucking little.
She was little. That haircut, I didn't agree with. I don't know about you.
We never like it.
It suit her face structure.
The Tinkerbell.
Not a bone structure cut.
Tinkerbell had a bun in the original
why can't
story.
we have long hair and a bun?
Yeah, where's the bun?
Julia Roberts has fabulous hair. Why would you cut it all off?
Well, and then when she becomes the grown-up version, she has long hair. And I was like, this is not a great message for women, and I hate everybody. But fine. You know, it's all fine.
Here we are.
The movie does start out with, in case y'all had your own amnesia on the island, the actual story of Peter Pan. It's a little children's play, which is fun. And the kids don't know what the fuck. Nobody knows what they're doing. And the one daughter is in the play as Wendy. And did you see that the kid who was playing Peter Pan in the play was a girl? And I was like, yeah, give women jobs. Oh God, it's too soon. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
Way too soon.
Now I'm
Stop
regretting
it.
everything I just said.
So wait, I'm reading a fun fact and I want to say it before I forget. Steven Spielberg wanted Michael Jackson to be Peter Pan.
Uh-oh.
I know.
Oh.
But then it didn't work out.
Thank God. Wow.
Yeah.
Wait,
so
is that just because he had a Neverland ranch that
So direct quote. Michael always wanted to play Peter Pan. Spielberg told blah, blah, blah. But I called Michael and said, this is about a lawyer who used to be Peter Pan, so he understood at that point it wasn't the same Peter Pan he wanted to make. However, Vanity Fair reported in 2003 that Jackson had paid a witch doctor to put a curse on Steven Spielberg.
What?
So perhaps there was lingering resentment.
What? 2003.
Oh
what movies was Spielberg doing around that time? I wonder if they did. Oh, I feel like
did they flop?
I was gonna say, I feel like he actually did the movie AI back then, which did kind of flop. So, ooh, spoopy.
Oh my God. This reminds me of the other witch who put a curse from Practical Magic and then they gave her all that money, you know?
Oh,
I mean,
we love witches. Oh man,
we love witches.
We fucking love them. I could have used a witch in this movie.
Yeah. But okay, sorry. So wait. Then, you know, like the actual mom, Moira, like
little plain.
I was like, okay, she is like the only thing that I thought was funny is the little daughter just kept telling everybody that they need a mommy when they were like behaving badly, and
she
that
sure did.
made me laugh really hard.
I mean, she's spreading the gospel choir.
Well, she was like, I'm the only woman besides Tink here. Okay, this is a male-dominated Neverland, and y'all need your mommies.
She's
and
like,
I thought, that's deep.
That's actually the truth, and we should put that on a t-shirt and point and yell at people. Yeah.
And listen, you can have daddies too, blah, blah, blah. But I'm just saying, if your entire world is all men, you should shape it up a little bit.
Well, and
shake.
That whole theme is actually like really funny too, because the movie was trying to be like, even though your dad's a deadbeat, he's gonna save the day. And then the daughter Maggie's like, I wish our mom was here. This would have been fixed so much sooner. And I was like, you're right, Maggie. It fucking would have. But we have to celebrate men for taking 3 days to become Peter Pan when mom would have done it in a second. It's stupid. Well,
and even literally Glenn Close was like, fine, I'll play a dude. Can I get an acting credit? You know, like...
Wait. Before we get there, I do just want to point out, we also have, as the deadbeat dad, this was very Jingle All the Way.
Yes.
Where it's the big baseball game. And by big, I mean it's fucking Pee-wee baseball, everyone. Take a chill pill. And
coming at you.
He sends somebody to film it. I don't know why the mom couldn't film it, but fine. And then the kid sees his dad's not there. And then the kid literally loses the whole fucking game for his entire team. Embarrassing. It's on video now. And that sucks. And then you're like, wow, so this dad like hates his kid. Literally, I was like, I don't think he likes this kid.
He would be explosive.
It's like mean. And he was never like that with the daughter. And I was like, this is too much. Well,
it was too much. And I also was like, that was a quick explosion, right?
Yeah.
Like, and at one point, literally Jack has to like parent him.
Yes.
He's like, why don't you grow up? Or stop being such a child. He's like, Dad, I am a child.
I'm actually like 8, so please relax, sir.
I thought you could learn something, Robin. However, it's Robin Williams, so we can't hate him because we love Robin Williams because we know deep down he's the sweetest man in the world.
Respect, right hand.
So once he like flips out of it, we're like, we believe you, you know. Where if it was like another actor, we'd be like, I don't know, he's still kind of a dick lawyer.
Yeah.
Before I forget, the one scene when Hook's like, take out your weapon, Pan.
Oh my
God. Then he takes out the checkbook and then he shoots through the checkbook. Amazing. I thought, that's a way to end an argument. You know what I mean?
Just shoot their checkbook. Right. That's right. You're making a statement right there.
If you're going to be a Neverland, that's how you do it, okay?
One thing the movie did that, like, I was kind of like, this doesn't age well. Like, it's, like, a little too much is there's so many fucking, like, I guess foreshadowing to like Peter Pan stuff. So they're flying to go see Grandma Wendy in England and they're flying on Pan Am airplane. What the fuck?
You know what? I did not make that connection until just now.
It's a Pan Am Peter Pan.
I was thinking more like, oh wow, back when like airlines were nice and lovely and leisure.
That's
but it's Pan because of Peter Pan.
It's Peter Pan.
Pan Am.
Peter Pan up in this dam. And even in Grandma Wendy's house, she's like, here's just a giant ass mural of scary pirates and Captain Hook, and I made the little latch on the door a scary hook. Like, what do we do? Why? Like, why is that the theme of the bedroom? I'm scared.
She was giving Tinkerbell energy. She was like, remember.
Forget.
I'm going to read you a book about it.
The best fucking line she says, because it's so dramatic, and I was like, this is amazing, is where she's like, oh, it's great to see you. You haven't visited in like 10 years, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, what do you do now, Peter? And he's like, oh, you know, I whatever. And then Jack's like, he, you know, blows people out of the water, like, blah, whatever. He's like describing it being a cutthroat lawyer. And Wendy dramatically goes, Peter, you've become a pirate. And I was like, oh my God, relax, lady. And I don't know what people said after that.
But it's Maggie Smith, so you love it.
I mean, I love her, but I was just like, oh, this is so much foreshadowing.
They made her look so old.
I know.
Literally.
I can't believe she
like
was
about
50.
to die old.
What
I
the
was like,
fuck?
okay, we don't need to make her that old. My God.
She looked so old, and it was crazy. And like, they were there because she was getting an orphanage building something for her charity something because she housed billions of orphans. And in my mind, I was like, were those literally all just kids you were taking from Neverland? And being like, yes, the orphans.
There is a horror movie that is the basis of this. I mean, it's like Get Out, meets Pinocchio in the 21st century. It's terrible.
It's bad.
I did feel like we eventually learned Peter Pan's origin story, which was his lovely mother who loved him.
Oh.
The bassinet, like in the movie The Witches,
I
falls down a hill.
Literally thought of The Witches. I was like, is this the same universe?
She never chases the bassinet. She just walks away and never finds her baby
just like,
again.
That's too bad. It went too far away. I'll never see it.
And then, like, 6 years later, he goes to the house and, like, he thinks they don't care about him. I mean, sir, there's probably pictures on the wall of you as a baby. How do you know they don't care about you?
I do also
thought
think
that was weird.
Tinkerbell needs to take a little bit of the blame here because she then sees a little infant baby, takes the infant baby to Neverland, which, first of all, I thought I don't grow up in Neverland, so riddle me how I became a baby to a 6-year-old. Let me know.
Agreed.
No one tells me. And then, yes, he continues to grow up. And then I think he's, like, done growing up when he's, like, 12 or 13.
12.
Yeah, some shit.
Which is is very weird because, I've lived in New York for a long time, and when we would date, it was very Peter Pan. I mean, it's still Peter Pan.
God,
you're going on dates with, like, at the time, I was, like, young 20s and older 30s, and we used to joke that Peter Pan, they never want to grow up. But now when I think about it, that reference is weird because it's just 12-year-olds. So we're, like, saying that these men are, like, 12-year-olds, but they're really, that's weird.
I'm just envisioning you going on a date with a grown man dressed in, like, a Peter Pan outfit and, like, crazy
like
Mowgli hair. Yeah. No shoes on.
And he's like, call me Rufio. And I'm like, ooh, where are you from? Bronx?
Rufio's
Queens?
Cool.
Brooklyn?
So, all right.
That sounds fun.
So
okay.
There's a fight. The wife's like, "You care too much about your job. I'm throwing your cell phone out the window." And he's like, "No."
I love that move, by the way.
I do too. I was like, we should throw more
Chuck it out the window.
cell phones out the window.
We should all do that. Should we do that right now? Ready? 1, 2, 3.
That was recording the podcast.
Oh, sorry. Keep us recording. Sorry.
But then they go to the charity thing, and okay, there's 2 other adults in this home that we haven't referenced, and they're weird. One is named Toodles, who definitely is on Amnesia Island.
I was just gonna say, does Toodle? What would you diagnose Toodles in your professional
early
opinion?
onset Alzheimer's? Because
Toodles
help
literally lost his marbles, not
marbles,
the metaphor, the actual physical
both
marbles.
It feels like both, but yeah,
it feels like both, and we had to find his marbles, but then he still acted weird. So
he fucking did, and he was a lost boy. We found out later. Toodles was a lost boy. So again, Maggie Smith is taking these lost boys.
So she's just like,
it feels like a kidnapping.
She's like child trafficking from Neverland. Maggie Smith, you dog.
It's not good. And then there's this
she's the pirate.
There's this other lady in this house who I don't even know her name, but all she did was scream like excitedly, and you're like, okay, I don't think you're a lost boy. You're a lady.
I thought when Hook comes in to steal the kids, why didn't the 2 of them do anything?
Well, that's what I mean, because Toodles is like, it was Captain Hook crazy. And I was like, Toodles, what good are you? I thought you were a lost boy. You used to, like, fight with swords. And then, I don't know about the other lady's credentials, but, like, she's just standing there screaming. And somebody could have thrown a vase at him, at least. At the minimum.
Absolutely. Or marbles.
Marbles. Yes.
But then he, like, just vanishes, and they come back from their orphan banquet where they pretend they didn't steal kids from Neverland, and the kids are gone, and no one knows what the F's up.
There's a very cryptic, like, beautifully scripted letter with the biggest knife you've ever seen. Nobody dusts for fingerprints on the knife, by the way. So I just want to point that out later. And it's like, hey, you gotta come to Neverland. I took your kids. It's Captain Hook. What up? Come on down. And everyone's like, what does this mean? And Granny Wendy's like, I know what it fucking means.
She does. She does know what it means.
Oh, they do call, like, the police or whatever the English version is. And did you know who the inspector was, Bridge? He's a famous, not actor, singer.
Who?
Phil Collins.
What? I missed that.
He has like 2 lines and it's weird. And you're like, oh, we didn't need that scene because basically they're all like, we don't have any leads and no evidence. Good luck. Bye. And you're like, why was that a scene? So I don't know, but Granny Wendy's like, all right, Peter, sit your fucking ass down.
She's like, I got a story for you.
Better buckle up. For this
Which, by the way, at this point, I was like, I want to get to the cool area. I want to get to the
that's
sets.
how I
want
felt
to get to I want to get to the light. I want to get to the fun. Okay, I'm over him being an annoying lawyer. All right, I want Robin Williams.
I know, but then he still is an annoying lawyer because, like, shortly after, he's like, she's crazy, and then Tinkerbell's like, hey, I'm here too, and I'm gonna kidnap you, and he's like, ah, and then he goes to Neverland, and you're like, oh my god.
But this is where, like, I loved. And I'm sure he ad-libbed so much during this film. Because when Tinkerbell comes in, he's like, this is a pretty big bug.
Yeah, he's like, this is big.
He's like, holy crap, that's a big bug.
Right.
And he was probably, like, the outtakes of him, he was probably saying the funniest, most random stuff ever.
Yeah.
And I dug it. And I did dig how he was, like, bringing in, like, old, boring adult energy into Neverland. Mm-hmm. Fun. I dug that. Loved it.
Well,
he played it well.
He gets dropped off with it's literally like, I don't know the name of it, but like it kind of feels like a pirate town where it's just, there's literally like hundreds of pirates were just sleeping wherever. And then it kind of felt a little culty because somebody was like, hookah, hookah. And then it becomes like stomping and like, oh, here's our morning routine. And I was like, uh-oh, what'd you guys drink? What was your initiation to the cult? Help.
Honestly,
not good.
Minus the worshipping hook, seemed like a fun place.
I mean,
I'm just gonna say
everyone's having a good time, and Captain
except
Hook,
you get shot randomly. So that sucks.
This is where the deaths. I'm like, this movie has a death count. Like, there's a lot of adult pirates that die, and then we do have a child who dies.
Awkward.
We can talk about it later, but
it was that's the saddest part I remember as a kid.
It felt like it was like really quick though on this watch, and I was like, wait, what about that guy? Oh, okay, bye.
I just think I loved him so much that it was in my heart. It lingered as a kid versus an adult. It
was in all of our hearts.
Okay.
Oh.
When Captain Hook comes out.
Wow.
He is so fabulous.
I mean, the outfit.
I want a drag queen to be Captain Hook nowadays.
Why
How
isn't anyone
fucking
doing that?
fabulous would that be?
That would be really good. In like giant heels too.
Giant heels.
Amazing.
And then like spinning on a hook. Can you imagine like the kicks on a hook?
Get out. The death drop
Stop
of a hook.
it.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
And then Smee can be there. Smee can be there too.
Oh my god.
Because I do like Smee. Smee's funny.
So all we know is Peter Pan beat Hook. His arm got cut off by a crocodile, and then the crocodile somehow has a clock, and so he hates clock, and so he's ready to start World War II.
Yeah.
He has the kids.
Yeah.
He's ready to party.
Yeah.
And then he's like, this Peter Pan is so pathetic. He's old and fat, and we hate him. And literally he got called fat so much this whole movie.
It was a lot. I know. I was like,
wait, is he really that fat? Like, y'all are like, Smee's got like a giant beer belly.
Everyone.
Like, what? I'm so confused. But it was the
90s. This is where Glenn Close is dressed as a male pirate. He pirate person dies, and this is another brutal death. Put in the
scorpion,
the boo box, and I was like, again, like aggressive scene. Probably could have been snipped, but it's Glenn Close, so keep her in there. It's fine. And then Captain Hook's like, all you gotta do is fly up, touch the hand of your kids. Kids are hanging in a net, just dwindling in a net up there, and he is like, I can't fly. I'm a man. So he climbs up, and Bridge, I swear to fucking God, he was literally like 2 inches from the children.
I agree.
This is where the girl's like, mommy would do it. And I was like, she fucking would. That mom would have. I'm sorry. I even think of with you as a mom. I'm like, Bridget would have
I would have jumped and I would have.
You would have sprinted across the the mast and jumped and grabbed her. Like, he's such a bitch during this scene.
He was a super bitch. And he also sweated very quickly and very profusely. And I thought to myself, sir, just try a little harder.
My God. The kids were like, literally try
he
harder.
He could have taken his cell phone antenna and it would have reached them. And we just extended
put the cell phone to good use then. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and then this is where Hook's like, this is embarrassing for
He's
everybody.
This is pathetic. Yeah.
I don't like this. And then Tank's like, let me train them. Don't kill the children. Let me just do some training. And then let's do it. And then Hook's like, cool. All right. But I'm hanging with the kids.
I mean, it was a pretty slick move on Tank.
Again, women saving the day. Okay. But somehow Peter ends up in the ocean, and then there's mermaids, and it's he gets separated from Tinkerbell, which was weird, and it felt like we just wanted to show off the costumes and the sets for this part.
I think we just wanted to show off mermaids kissing him.
And then then I
thought, okay, so wait, this is the adult side of me. I'm like, so is this the metaphor of men being like Peter Pan sleeping around with mermaids?
Oh, that's deep. I just thought they were giving him air.
Whoa. They were giving him air, but I was like, is this the metaphor? And then all of a sudden he's with the children. And he made kind of some jokes about Lord of the Flies. He's like, what the hell is this? Where are your parents?
Yeah.
And then what's kind of interesting is they slowly were like, you're not Pan. Where's Pan? And Tink's like, he is the love of my life, Pan. I haven't seen him in 55 years, but I love him.
Yeah, but he gets to the Lost Boys Island, whatever we call that. It's literally like 2 feet from the pirates. And I just, if we all want to kill each other, I don't know. the real estate.
He just wants to kill Peter Pan, not the kids, right?
I don't know, because I feel like in the
like his
original
beef
story,
is just with Pan.
Well,
I know it's confusing.
It's aggressive, but thank God we get to the Lost Boys, because this is where it gets fucking fun. We got lots of little scraggly children. We got random sets and props, and more importantly, we have Rufio. Rufio. A lot of chanting.
Okay,
this
Rufio
movie. Wow.
is such a vibe.
Yep.
The hair.
Oh, yeah.
The color of the hair.
Oh, my God.
The outfit. Okay? Yep. The swagger. Rufio holds up.
Rufio
so cool.
is played by Dante Basco, and he's become, like, a very well-known voice actor, and he was at Comic-Con last year. I saw him. He was at a booth, and I walked by, and I was like, oh my God, it's Rufio. Yeah, so he's, like, doing pretty good in the acting world, but he was, like, a little kid. Like, he felt like...
He was little.
Like, 13,
they
14.
All were little.
I know they were.
I remember thinking, I thought they were older, and I'm like, some of these kids are like 7.
No, we're like prime trick-or-treating age for these kids.
That's
like
true.
Nobody's like preteen yet, except Rufio. I think he felt the oldest. So,
but okay, one thing I'm gonna give some of the Lost Boys props.
Okay,
they have an epic treehouse, home,
somebody built that
activity building situation. Yeah. So they nailed the engineering. No one is eating. We don't know where the bathroom is.
What do we do?
We're not sure if they're drinking water.
Do we bathe? Like,
I don't think they bathe.
Okay.
That was going to be my last piece of the puzzle. I don't think they bathe, so something is not going well, and maybe that's why they're not growing up, because they're malnourished.
Because of all the vitamin deficiencies. Yes. See, it's not magic, it's just science, guys.
Yeah, it's just science. It's actually just science.
I mean, this really is the part, I know I joked about this, but I was like, man, I really wish I took an edible for this part of the movie, because it's just so fucking wild. All the kids are like antagonizing Peter, because they just see him as an adult. They don't think he's Peter Pan. And then he's like, Tink's like, it's Peter Pan. And this is where the little boy does his little face smush. And he's like, oh, there you are, Peter. And I was like, what does that change? What did you see that changed your little 6-year-old brain?
I gotta say it. I know this is deep and dark.
Okay.
But sometimes, as you get older, you do that to your own face. And you're like, there you are, Bridge.
There you are.
There you are, Bridge. We just gotta drop a couple pounds, put on some mascara, and call it a day, girl, okay? I remember you when you're 22. You can be hot again.
I remember you.
I remember.
Oh, my God. Oh, God.
Right.
Amnesia Island.
Here's the thing.
All right.
Here's the thing, okay? I thought they were funny about how they, ragged on him. And they all were like, listen, we follow Rufio. At least we've decided we follow somebody. We're following Rufio.
Yeah.
Rufio does not want you to be the leader because he's loving being the king.
Yeah.
And so he had to really work hard to get their, pride, respect, whatever it is. But that one little kid made them all start to say, wait,
is it? He was an upstander, dare I say.
I mean, but it's been 40 years. These kids really, really loved Peter Pan, What an impact.
It was, and it just is funny because then Tink's like, anyway, we gotta train him, and this, blah, 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 and then all the kids are like, abso-fucking-lutely. And then it literally becomes like a training, like an Arnold Schwarzenegger training montage.
Oh my God.
He's running in the jungle.
Arnold,
oh my God, a
little baby
boy
Arnold.
No.
Oh my God, Lost Boy Arnold
That would be
meets
amazing.
Predator meets Peter Pan.
Get the fuck out. Commando.
Holy
oh my God.
shit.
So
I would love that. Like a jacked 7-year-old. Oh my God.
I mean, in the remake, we can have that. But
I love that.
It's really fucking funny. And we have a Thanksgiving scene, or it feels like Thanksgiving to me.
My God, this was so vivid as a kid.
Yes.
And it's just as good
as
an
It's
adult.
so fun.
And I'll tell you, as Kate gets older, will be rehearsing trash talking.
Oh.
Okay? Because I'm going to be that parent. If we're going to have kids name calling, we got to practice. We got to trash talk.
Gotta get them
Robin
good.
Williams killed it.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's all about the speed and the creativity that you do it. And the words were funny. It was great. I loved it. I ate that up. And then when he flicks the spoon and he actually sees the food, I was like, this is such a cool... Steven Spielberg nailed that.
That's a great part. Because basically, it's kind of like, it looks like the kids are not eating, which I actually don't think they are. And they're all like, we're playing. Like, they keep being like, we're playing, we're kids. And he's like, I'm a man, I don't play. And I'm like, oh my God. But then he starts to use his imagination. And then he could see the food. And it's multicolored gloop that they just all throw at each other, and
it looks like Play-Doh,
so
to be
fun.
honest.
Yeah.
It was really fun, and then they have a food fight, and then all of a sudden, Rufio's like, I hate this mother effer, and throws a coconut at him.
Okay.
Somebody throws a sword, and then he does a Peter Pan spin, and chops the coconut in half. And everyone's like, it is Pan.
It's the Pan.
Pan's back. All he's got to do is learn how to fly, and he officially completed the certification of the Lost Boys training camp.
Yep,
Okay.
that's all you need.
It's 3 days. Do you know how many people would pay for that in today's society if you're like, come to Ohio, we have a Lost Boys training camp,
Lord.
we'll teach you how to fly, send us $2,000. I guarantee that LLC is making money.
If I come out learning how to fly, like, that does feel... That's worth it.
It is worth
it's
it,
good
right?
money. Yeah, I think
and,
so.
Oh, by the way, all you gotta do is think a happy thought.
Yeah.
In this day and age? Are you kidding?
That's our number one coping skill. Yeah. And while he is training, the children are still with Captain Hook and Shmi, and that's when they come up with this weird plan where they're like, we're gonna get the kids to like you. And then Maggie, again, the only girl with the voice of reason, is like, this is a bunch of bullshit. Where's my mom? Y'all need your moms. And then they're like, get her out of here. And then she sings an emotional song for no reason that everybody hears.
Wait, they give her an F on an imaginary assignment. She gets mad about it.
She got
I'm like,
really upset.
This is not recorded in the grading system.
It's not going in your permanent record. It's gonna be
okay.
You're also like 4 or something, so it's gonna be fine. And then Jack's drinking the Kool-Aid.
He really was quote unquote influenced.
I mean, it did felt very like indoctrination.
It was weird.
Like, the little children and the pirates.
I was like, okay, I get it. Captain Hook hates Peter Pan, so he wants to like get the kid to like him to hate Peter Pan. But then it started to get a little like too. He was like, no, Jack's rules for the game.
Oh, for the baseball. Yeah, they play baseball
good
for
form.
him.
No, it's called a home run.
Oh.
Go, Jackie, my little boy, my Jack.
Jack.
Okay, you went a little far, Hook. Maybe you should, think about you and Smeety getting serious and finding your own.
Settle down. Just adopt one of the Lost Boys. They're literally right there.
It would help your hair situation. I guarantee.
Definitely. Oh my god, the baseball scene was so fucking funny because this is where Peter Pan and some of the Lost Boys did like a Little Rascals trench coat like scheme where there's just kids in trench coats and they like sneak in and then they're just watching the baseball game.
Okay, because this is now Peter Pan knows how to fly because him and Tink had like a powwow and then he remembered how to fly.
I don't think he's...
Or not yet.
I don't think he's flying yet.
He doesn't know how to fly yet.
I think after this is when he gets motivated for flying.
Got it.
Because
so he watches...
They wanted him to steal Hook's hook. He didn't have his hook on for some reason. But then Peter got sad because Captain Hook said, my Jack. And that's too much. And then that is
too much.
He's like, I gotta go and learn to fly. And Bridge... This is where it gets weird, because I'm pretty sure this is where we get Amnesia, but I don't really know if it's Amnesia, and then Tinkerbell's there too, and she's Cinderella. What? Why does this happen?
Do you know that she got a Razzie Award for this movie?
She did? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of harsh. She didn't do bad acting. I just feel like
I
her
didn't think she
character
was bad.
written weird.
Well, I first thought, like, 1, Tinkerbell is notoriously blonde.
Yes.
Okay, so let's get some blonde hair. 2, let's make it a pony. Okay,
definitely.
And then the other thing I thought is, like, why do we have to like Peter? Why can't we just be a fun fairy?
Friends? Yeah, like I don't.
Yeah, why can't we just be like a bestie fairy?
Oh, it feels icky then because it's like, what about when he was a kid? Were we?
Ew.
I don't know.
And then was Tink a kid, or did Tink grow up, or is Tink not grown up?
I don't know the rules.
And she stole a baby.
I don't fucking know the rules, but I'm pretty sure Peter gets amnesia. And then he's like, oh, I remember when I was a kid and in my bassinet ran away from my mom, and that's weird, but I did it. And then I remember all that stuff, and then he forgets about his kids and his wife. And then literally a scene later, Tink's like, what about your kids and your wife? And then he's like, oh yeah. And I was like, what was the point of the amnesia? I don't understand.
Well, I think the point was his happy thought was remembering he was a dad.
Oh, okay, wait, that actually
But I was like, wait a second.
Oh.
Maggie Smith was the first Wendy that got him excited to go back. So he had like a crush on his grandma who was his mom. But then Gwyneth Paltrow was actually Maggie Smith as a young person. So she was the same age at the time. So that feels okay, but also weird. Yep. And then we fall in love with Moira, that's the daughter. Okay.
We did.
But you know what? Clap, clap, clap. We fly in the air. Flying's fun. And I like the flying. Flying was pretty good.
Thank fucking God now we're flying because it's pretty real. And, okay, Bridge, I'm sorry. This is just immediately... This is where it's not Six Flags, it would be Universal, but this was where we would do the Six Flags stunt show at Universal Studios Florida, is watching the adult pirates fight the Lost Boys. Now there's like 80,000 Lost Boys. Don't ask questions.
So
they're
many.
Here. They're ready for battle. It's really insane. And they make...
I gotta say, they make the coolest weapons.
Oh, I mean, I was gonna say the one kid is used as a bowling ball, and I don't know if that's cool, but...
That was stupid.
Okay.
But I meant the weapon that was like, it looked like a bazooka gun, but it had a chicken up top, and the chicken was laying eggs, and they were shooting eggs at the pirates.
I did like that.
And then there was another one that was like, you know, like the squirt toys in the pool.
Yes.
That then has like green slime.
Yeah.
And it seemed like a fun movie to be a part of. I thought, this is a good time.
Well, you know? And it's like the Lost Boys are just doing like teehee silly annoying things to the pirates, but then the pirates are like out for blood, and you're like, well, we're not at the same like level. Help. And Rufio, he gets it, because Rufio's now like, I love you, Peter Pan, you cool, go team. He's sword fighting Captain Hook, and well, he dies. He did. We have a child death in this movie.
I mean, what's worse, a dog death or a child death?
Oh, I mean, they're both bad, I guess, but...
That's a question.
Oh.
This hurt me so hard as a kid. I remember being like, why? Rufio was the bomb.
Why? He did not need to die, because...
Why couldn't he just get hurt?
Like,
why couldn't he, you know, be stabbed but be okay, you know?
We're already motivated to, like, destroy Captain Hook. Like, we already know he's a bitch. We don't need him to kill a kid for us to be like, oh, yeah, we hate Captain Hook. Like, we hate him already. And then literally Rufio's dying, and then Robin Williams is like, oh my God, Rufio, no. And he goes, I wish I had a dad like you. And I was like, I don't think you do, but it's okay. It's cute. You're dead. I get it. Like, okay. There's a lot of like orphan talk of like the Lost Boys. So many of them are like, I wish I had a mom. And like, what's your mom like, Peter? And I was like, again, where's Granny Wendy to kidnap you? Because... Sounds like we want to leave.
She has this big orphanage, you know, like corporation. You think she'd help these guys?
Yeah, well, I'm not really sure. But basically, Peter Pan's like, I'm ready to fucking kill Hook. And then Jack is the one who's like, hey, Dad, I'm not a brainwashed pirate boy anymore. Let's just go home. He's like, I've seen enough death.
Yeah, I'm over it.
I'm gonna need therapy.
I'm done.
I'm like 8 or 9. Help.
Yeah.
And let's leave. And then he's like, okay. And then Captain Hook is like, if you leave, like, I'll literally just keep coming back and kidnapping kids. And I'm like, yeah, I feel like he will. So let's go murder that man. And then Peter's like, all right, off to kill you. And he dies in a weird way, Bridge. How does Captain Hook die?
So we're in Pirate Town.
We are in Pirate Town.
And the leader of Pirate Town is Captain Hook.
Yes.
And Captain Hook absolutely hates Crocs. Hates clocks. Why is there 100-foot crocodile clock
literally
in the middle of Pirate Town?
Looked like Lake Placid.
That would be like me having a giant model of The Exorcist in the middle of my house.
Oh, God, not that.
Linda Blair,
no.
life size, in my house, just hiding behind every corner.
I hate
What is he thinking? So, I mean, clearly that was coming to an end, and somehow something happened, and the whole thing fell on him, and I guess squished him, and he killed him.
I thought the croc was alive and it ate him. Because then they look inside, and they're like, he's gone. And I was like, so he got eaten? But the mouth didn't move? And it's still dead? What? I don't know.
So was that like a trophy from
I think that was the croc that took his hand. And he turned it into a croc.
So how to do it again?
Well, I don't...
Is it a magic croc? Do you think this was the witch doctor from Michael Jackson?
I mean, that would be pretty cool if it was.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird-ass death. And then all the kids are like, yay, we murdered an adult. our life is good now. And Peter Pan is like, all right, kids, we're gonna fly home. All you need is a fucking happy thought. And this part made me rage, is Jack's happy thought was his dad. I'm sorry. Do you remember your mom? Do you remember how we all talked about how your mom would have solved this problem literally 3 days ago in 1 second? Do you remember? No? Because I do. Okay.
Makes me think of Three Ninjas. Okay. Nobody cared about
God.
the mom.
Such
Nobody
bullshit.
cared about the mom.
It was like the bar is so low. This is such bullshit. And then B's like, all right, you go on ahead, kids. And he's like, all right, Lost Boys, I gots to go. I'm literally a 40-year-old man. Like, I can't, we got to get out of here. And he's like, but I'm going to appoint someone a new leader because your old one died. And we're sad for a minute, but now we're over it. And I'm going to pick... I need to tell you the name of this kid, Bridge, because I don't know if you know his name, and I didn't know it until I looked it up. The kid who also turned himself into a bowling ball, by the way. Bridge, his name was, are you ready?
No.
Thud Butt. 2 words.
Oh,
Thud Butt.
Me and you both, buddy. Okay,
Thud Butt.
It's been a bit. It's been a bit. I'm missing a workout class.
Was bowling ball, and he is the leader now. And I was like, good fucking luck, guys. I gotta go. And yeah, I don't know. The ending is like, I don't know. It gets buttoned up pretty quick because then it's like, yay, we're all home. Don't ask questions. Why we're flying? LOL. Everything's real. And then Toodles flies away to Neverland, but he's like 80.
Toodles, what's our plan here, Toots?
Just don't know.
You and Thud Butt just gonna like kick it in the forest?
And Thud Butt, take it
Feels
over.
weird. Doesn't feel like a good match. Okay.
And now apparently we don't hate, I don't know, the dad anymore. But we might. I don't know. Wow. It was a time.
Guys,
trip.
I think it was a good movie, but it is a little much. It is a little much.
It's fun. You should definitely watch it. But I mean, just there's plot points where you're like, wait a second, and then the movie's like, anyway, don't ask questions. Let's keep going. You're like, oh, okay,
yeah.
But yeah, it's fun. It's a fun one.
Yeah, I get it. All right.
Oh yeah.
Guess what?
What?
It's my pick.
Ooh.
And we are gonna do a listener pick.
Oh my god, what a day.
Listener pick time. It's listener pick time. It's time to listen up, pick. Woo. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So we gotta get Mom to sing that ring, you know? Ring a ding. Okay. I've never seen this movie. I've never heard about this movie.
Okay.
This was picked by James.
Ooh.
James. Who I learned forwarded me something. Do you ever go on a place called Substack? It like has like blogs and stuff or whatever.
No.
But he forwarded me something from that, and his profile said Jim. So I was like, "Oh, are you multiple people?
Oh God,
which are you?
Who
are you?
Fuck
Jim
is that?
James? Who?
Oh my God.
It's my husband, guys.
Yes.
That's why it's funny. Anywho, so Jimmy Boy from 1996. This is a movie. I don't know what's happening in this movie. Okay. You're not going to pick it.
Okay.
And, I'm just going to give you all the descriptions and say the thing.
All right.
It is an action thriller film. It is starring Gina Davis and Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh.
Brian Cox.
Oh.
So there is a school. Gina Davis is a school teacher in a small hometown living with her boyfriend. This is the long sentence. Hold on.
Okay.
A school teacher and single mother who lives an average life begins having strange memories of unexplained violence, discovers they have physical skills they've never imagined. Hiring private detective Samuel L. Jackson to probe into her past, she discovers she's a well-trained government assassin who went missing after suffering a bout of amnesia from Neverland, and that her former handlers wanted her back in their employ. We are watching 1996... The Long Kiss Goodnight.
I've never seen it either. Woo!
We don't know what we're in for, but if it is on St. Elmo's Fire level, I am throwing it out the window.
Okay, well, we'll find out, I guess. But
by that, I mean James out the window.
Yes. Okay. I do love Gina Davis and Samuel Jackson. What a combo. I wouldn't have ever put those two together. Kind of a fun,
I feel like they're both kind of like the same vibe. Like they're both kind of intense.
They could be intense.
Is it going to be like too intense? Like who's going to break up the tension?
Well, from what I'm looking at, I'm seeing Gina Davis in different wigs. So that makes me look forward to whatever the fuck is going to happen in this.
Unless they're terrible wigs, I will
one's questionable,
obviously talk about it.
We'll
know.
See. We'll see how that goes. All right, cool.
Kate,
Bridge.
I just want to let you know.
Okay.
If we get our big shot to make a movie, Steven Spielberg finds this podcast.
Steven,
he knocks on our doors.
We're waiting for you.
He's ready.
Oh my God.
He's like, let's do it.
Oh my God.
He's like, but I'm going to do a remake of Peter Pan the way I've always wanted it.
Oh.
And I'm going to need your sister Katie to play Tink.
Wow.
But she's got to wear
I have a bun.
a really bad... No, she's got to wear a bad wig. I'm going to say, you know what, Steven? I know this is our dream. We're not doing it. And we're not doing it. Because we have standards.
Hair or bust.
Okay. And I would do that for you, Katie. Wow. That would be just for you.
I feel like if that happened in real life,
that
I'd
was
actually
for you.
Be really upset if I missed out on that. But thank you so much for me. Bridge, I just want to say, if we got kidnapped by a fairy and brought to Neverland and something...
Wait, there needs to be a female Neverland. I'm sorry. Keep going. Sorry. Okay. All right.
There wouldn't be, because it would be structured and organized and run.
Okay.
But if we, we're brought there and it's like, oh, look, Captain Hook is baby Kate. Like, you just gotta go get her. Like, literally, you and me would do like a cheerleading, like I would toss you. What is that, basket
like a
toss?
Basket?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd be like, all right, problem solved. Whoop! And you'd go get her. Whoop. And then he'd be like, oh, all right, I guess we're done. And we'd be like, see ya. And then we'd leave, because that's just, it's not a vacation. Like, we gotta go.
This gig.
Okay.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I do that for you because I love you.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Thank you.
Listeners, if you also think that terrible people need their moms, like, where's your mom? Like, your mom would have fixed this.
Where is she?
She
would have.
Moms
Where
fix
is she?
things. Okay. And if you think that this is kind of like Amnesia Island, which is, it's weird, but it happens and I don't understand, but it's fine. Something lore. Go team. And if you think that Dustin Hoffman should be used as a drag queen personality, like, we need that. I need that. I need that. I need a shmee. Somebody could be a crocodile. Oh my God, could you imagine? We need all that. So if you think all that, you should write us a review.
Hey!
We love reviews. We love written reviews. You can review us on Apple Podcasts, along with some other podcasting apps. And we also have a website, sisterswho'seenit.com. On our website, you can request a movie. So there is a form you can fill out, and your request goes on a list. And we look at the list every now and then, and we will do it eventually. That's what James did for our next pick. He did all of that, and that could be you, listeners. And Bridge, what else can they do on our website?
Give us money.
Woo!
We would invest to fight the child trafficking
of
Maggie.
I mean, it's an epidemic.
And Tinkerbell taking these lost boys and finding them back to their homes.
So
we would invest in that.
We
okay?
would.
Or merchandise. The holidays are around the corner. Did you get that gift for somebody? Are you planning? Are you going to wait last minute? What are you doing?
I mean,
just get a bunch. That's how I shop. Do it in bulk.
Yep.
Get it to your house. And then when we're like, oh no, somebody gave me a present and I forgot to get them one. Just kidding. I have my bulk supply. And then you give them one.
Yeah.
Best trick in the book. Love you guys.
Wow. Yes. So check all that out, listeners. And we hope to hear from you. All right. Well, we'll see you all next week for The Long Kiss Goodnight.
You got it.
Yeah. Well, that's the movie. We'll see you there.
I love you.
I love you. Bye-bye.
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 Think happy thoughts. Think happy thoughts. You guys, we could do it.
I'm going to try so hard.
Clap your hands.
Jesus Christ.
We could do it. Happy thoughts.
Oh,
okay?
God.
I love you.
I
Bye-bye.
love you.
I love you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Sisters Who've Seen It. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out our website at sisterswho'seenit.com, where you can email us, request movies to be reviewed, and keep up to date with all things sisters. Also, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. See you next week.